What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another album reaction. Today we're going to be discovering the beginning of the journey of Isolated Antagonist. This is their debut album, The Isolated and the Antagonist. And I believe this is the last album from them as well. Stick around because at the very end, we're going to be checking out the EP as well. That'll be a full look through of Isolated Antagonist until the next album comes out or the next EP comes out. Today, I have yet again with me Glenn Mitchell, which is the lead singer of the band. What's up, brother? Welcome back to another sick ass podcast. Yeah. All right. So you said that the production for this one is not the top notch. That's what you told me before.
Oh, we did our best. So, I mean, it was a different time, and the two of us were actually learning how to mix and master, but I actually think we did pretty good. The thing that drove me nuts is just at the end, all of a sudden hearing the volume, and it's like, oh, that's a lot quieter than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us the story behind this album before we begin?
So, the story behind the album was, well, I guess, do you mean the story of how the album was made, or the story, or the concept story itself of the album?
Both.
So, how the album was made, Nate and I were friends over the years. We found each other because we were both Queensryche and Fear Factory fans, which we just didn't see a lot on, and somehow just ran into each other on Facebook way back when. And then I had bands, Nate had bands, but I had deployed to Kuwait. I know, not a real deployment, it's only Kuwait. So, hey man, I know that I did the combat deployment before. This was definitely a desk job, and I obviously did a lot of work, but so we were talking to each other and said, hey, let's see if we can do some music together. The EP that you mentioned is actually what we did first, which was a couple demo songs, which I think are actually a lot darker than the album. And we didn't even have literally a project name. I think I was walking to the office in Kuwait. My office was about a mile walk from my barracks, which is where I record the album. And it just popped up in my head like Isolated Antagonist, because as a communications guy, I did a lot of communications all over the place. And it just really felt like, even though I was always the one communicating with people, I always felt isolated while doing so, because I was just the one on the mic, on the speaker, and I would work off hours all by myself. And well, I've always been an antagonist, and it just popped in there. And I asked Nate, and Nate was like, that's awesome. And I'm like, there's no way that nobody's used this before. I was really surprised nobody used it. So we were able to copyright and everything. And from then on, I mentioned one of the songs to you earlier. Nate asked me to write, make this song about aliens, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out how to make a cool metal song about aliens, because it's just not me. You got to write what you know. So I ended up kind of writing a song about space travel that made a little bit more sense to me, about having to leave the Earth. And then it turned into, all right, why do we have to leave the Earth? And it turned into a concept story where we wrote about the last man on Earth. And it turned into, because he was facing a hive-minded disease that we had manufactured ourselves.
So I'm going to stop you right there real quick. There is a band that we have reviewed on this channel, Mechana, and you're very familiar with them. Was this inspired by Mechana's story, or did you guys not even know them? I had never heard
of Mechana at that time.
Wow, that's impressive.
So this was 2013 when we started the writing. It was late 2014 when we started the writing of this album.
Okay, I'm excited to jump into this. You said this whole album was recorded in your barracks, which is insane.
Let me make sure I phrase that properly. The vocals, all the vocals are Nate did everything else on his own at his house. So we recorded this being 6,000 miles apart. I think I actually measured it on a map. So Nate was in Massachusetts and I was in Kuwait, and we were sending stuff back and forth. And so all the vocals are literally recorded in my barracks with the goofy pictures I sent you.
Very fucking cool, dude. I'm ready to jump into this, dude. All right, let's jump into it. The first track is Land of Fire. The fact that Nate plays a bagpipe is just awesome. I wish that Korn would incorporate bagpipes into their music more than what they did in the past. I would love to hear more bagpipes. Like the pans. Right into Revolutions, Revelations.
Aside from orbit.
Okay, all right. Super raw, dude. It's like Sonam. Soul of a New Machine. Love how raw this is, dude. What? I might like this better than the second album.
Take off.
Like the pads in the background. The guitar sounds massive, dude. Awesome. Very, very raw compared to what we got in the last albums. All right, let's jump into this real quick. Let's figure out what's going on here. So, With this one here, it's more of a raw sound compared to like the first album that we checked out, which was a decent album. Did I like it better than the third album? I can't remember if I did.
I think you like to. They're very different albums. One felt a little more electronic. One felt a little bit more rock. That's always been my opinion.
Yeah. The what was I gonna say? The affirmation of entropy and then oblivion, right?
Yep.
Those were very they're more refined, but the guitars were held back on affirmation.
Okay.
I believe affirmation was the one that you said that the company you didn't like the mix, or was that oblivion?
No. We want to do the drums better, and I think we slowly have gotten better. It wasn't so much that with the record label. It's just the release time that we dealt with that kept changing, and the advertising just turned everything into a mess. So we were just happy to leave.
Okay. Well, I like it so far, dude. It's got really raw production. I wasn't expecting to.
I thought you might laugh. There's a little bit of a Bible hint in that second song already.
I didn't get to hear that because I can't see the lyrics. But what was the Bible?
The song is called Revolution Revelations, right?
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And then it says Revelations 6:4 war. So Revelation 6:4 is the coming of war.
Ah, okay.
So that's why I threw that in there. Then another horse came out, a fiery red one. Its rider was given the power to take peace from earth and give it to make people kill each other.
Oh, the vocals are very low on here, but then again, you did record this in the barracks, so I'm not gonna give you shit for that. But the vocals are very very low.
Yeah, we noticed a couple things. This was completely 100% mixed and mastered by us. And it wasn't until I think after we got the final when I heard I guess this was my own fault for really doing my first album. Like I was just listening to that. And now when I listen to my masters, I literally listen to sound like it. And like I'll cut back and forth just to make sure they're at that same volume level. So when I hear this, we did release another master on Bandcamp that was a little louder, but yeah, that first mix, yeah, we noticed later.
Awesome.